Hello there, everybody. My name is Shriko, and welcome back to another episode of My Team Career Mode on F1 2021. And we have the Belgium Grand Prix today. I nearly forgot what Grand Prix we're up, but it's right there on the screen. So we're heading to Spa this weekend, and it should be quite an interesting one. If you didn't want to see the last episode, links down in the description below. But yeah, that was quite a juicy Grand Prix. Nothing too crazy. But at Silverstone, we did pretty well. We got some points. We actually finished the race, which is a miracle at the rate of which we are DNFing this season. But we finished the race. We had a pretty much 20 to 23 lap long defensive battle against Lance Stroll, who, spoiler alert, ended up pipping us on the second last lap. And I reckon we would have got him back if it wasn't for a damn DRS fault. So reliability issues cost us a little bit of points there, and we also nearly got pipped by Yuki Tsunoda in that race as well. We were pretty slow towards the end of the Grand Prix, and we nearly lost a couple points. But we didn't. We kept our position, we kept our nerve, and we stayed ahead of Yuki Tsunoda. So this time round, hopefully we can be in a bit of a points paying position again and be fighting for some points. The car is not too great still, but we put it in a good position last time out, so I hope we can do kind of the same thing again. So to start off today's episode, we have a personal department event that has popped up, and I'm just fill out the time here now. There we go. We switched over. So pretty much we have a decision: either pop our teammate into the gym or decline it and get some either focus or awareness. And I think we're going to go with some focus because honestly, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Schwartzman has just been a horrible teammate. No, not really. He's been all right, but he's an F2 driver, and the F2 drivers don't do too well on this first season My Team car, when it is one of the worst cars on the grid, and it is a bit difficult to handle. But he needs to start competing a bit better because the pace is there in the car. Like, as I'm pretty sure I said it last episode, we are playing at a 95, I believe, or 93, one of those numbers. That's the AI level that we're playing at the moment, which is smack bang on my ability for this game. So, you're always going to be quicker as the player compared to an F2 driver in the FOM car in Season 1, but it's not an excuse. We really need him to pick it up, because he's too far behind us. So, at this stage, if he doesn't really improve too much, we don't have too many races to go. We're halfway through the season. So if he doesn't really pick it up and start being a bit more competitive towards the midfield battle, then we're probably going to have to switch him out. And I think we will anyway. But yeah, anyways, looking at the standings here and the progression over this season, look at that. 4 DNFs out of 7 races. That's horrible, man. That's horrible. We can't afford any more DNFs. Look at that. We've gone points twice, 2 out of the 3 races that we finished. So we're looking all right. But Hamilton there on top of the table is looking pretty strong this season, as he is in real life. But Verstappen, he hasn't been looking too good. But yeah, anyways, I decided we needed to up our durability. We put in some Spec 1 upgrade for durability, the department, because that's our biggest problem at the moment. I was feeling for where the car is, the downforce levels, and the chassis was actually not too bad. We were getting a bit comfortable. Well, I have been getting comfortable with it, and we've also had a rear wing R&D failure, which is a bit disappointing, but not to worry. But yeah, we really need to focus on that durability this second half of the season because it is absolutely trash. Durability and chassis are probably the 2 biggest things. Yeah, our engine's never going to be crazy. We did pick the worst engine on out of the 4, which was the Renault engine, I believe, for us. So just for cheapness wise, pretty much. But we will be looking to change things up for the start of next season, so we'll have to see how that goes. But we have put on a couple of weight redistribution, and also I think we put on the DRS slot mechanism as well to improve our drag reduction when we do have DRS, and that's mainly thinking ahead towards Monza, which is coming up after the Belgium Grand Prix, just so we can get that in better slipstream, better DRS, and hopefully our straight line speed improves even more, and we can get some track position there. So that's in a couple races times that we're thinking for. We now have a marketing department event. Also, disclaimer: I forgot to unmute my desktop sounds. That's why you can't hear any sounds, and it's just there's been just my voice. I realized at the end of practice as I was coming to quali that I had no sounds recording. So fantastic, well done, Trico. So yeah, it was just pretty much choose 20k or 50k for some resource points. We went with 20k. To be honest, it was an accident. I meant to go 50, but anyways, it doesn't really matter. And straight away we got another department event, but for the chassis this time, and yeah, it's saying 50k for another 750 resource points, or decline, like do nothing essentially and get nothing. So we went with the resource points. 50k, you know, it's not that much. We do have the driver renewal contract coming up shortly, which I was actually considering changing up Schwartzman for the second half of this season. However, I decided against that, and I just went along with re-signing him, mainly to keep the money for some spec upgrades on the departments. We really need to, you know, over the next few races, improve that where we can, and then start saving for a new driver at the end of the year, because we want to bring in someone else, someone, you know, a bit better, that's going to bring in some more R&D points and also some more solid performances on the track as well, which is the main thing, right? So we have had a bit of a break between the British Grand Prix and the Belgium Grand Prix, so that's why you're seeing so many R&D upgrades going on in here. Yeah, so onto practice. We're just kind of skimming through practice this week. To be honest, I was feeling very nice again, you know, on this track. I do like Spa. So I think, like most people, it's one of your favorites. You know, it's one of the best tracks in the game. But we're feeling very, very comfortable, and you know, this was the high. This was pretty funny. I nearly skitzed it in the moment. It wasn't too bad, but we were up right behind Giovinazzi here, and we nearly ended up crashing just because of my own, you know, dumbness, essentially, of trying to get ahead of him at a spot where, you know, in practice you don't really need to put your nose in, and I decided to back out, because that could have ended pretty poorly. But as you can see up the top left hand corner, we're actually sitting in P3 at the moment. In the timings, I mean, a lot of cars haven't come out for their laps, but we were looking very, very quick, which was very, very bizarre. You know, I'm expecting to be fighting around P10ish, because the car is at the back. You know, we're catching up to the midfield group of cars in the R&D department, so we should be ahead of the Alphas and the Haas and also the Williams as well. But yeah, the last race, and you know, for the feeling from FP1 was that we were a little bit ahead of the midfield battle. You know, we were kind of towards the top of that midfield battle, which might be an indication. Maybe I do need to up my AI level, maybe up to, you know, maybe like a 97 or 98, and see where we end up there. Because maybe, you know, with my force feedback settings, you know, increasing that last time out, maybe it is time for us to up the AI level, because maybe it looks like we might have improved. And, you know, we ended up going out on a soft compound run at the end of FP1, and we ended up in P7 with a 44.8, which was not bad. But you know, with Mick Schumacher also going out on a soft compound run, being in P9 just behind us, with a 45.2. So, you know, it's touch and go. It's still we still just got to see. You know, we'll just have to play it by ear. But just skimming through the quick practice once again, just so you guys can see what kind of happened. We copped a lot of failures on the 70% success chance, and we actually got our 50 and 25%, which is bizarre. But yeah, I think we got, by the end of it, we got all the upgrades and R&D points coming in. And I have noticed that having the 1 hour, like the full practice sessions, does help a lot. The half an hour, I have a second my team career just for offline, just for messing around and whatnot, and the half an hour is just not enough for quick practice. But yeah, over to quali, and we have a bit of sounds now coming in, thank God. And you know, coming into qualifying off the back of a very good British Grand Prix, I was feeling quite good. You know, the car was feeling good in FP1. I was pretty confident that we were going to put in a good lap time, and I was wary that the rest of the field is obviously going to improve as time goes on, and as the track begins to rubber in over the course of the weekend. And obviously going from FP1 straight into quali, you don't know how quick AI have become, but they're normally improved by a few seconds come Q1. So it's the start of our very first lap here. Nothing special. It's just a fill-in for me talking. That's pretty much it. However, we did put it in a pretty good time, pretty competitive time of 42.5. Good enough for P11, which I was not gonna lie, I considered not going out again to save a pair of soft tires, but I thought I don't want to risk it. You know how quickly the AI can improve here, between laps, just from the start of a session to the end of a session. So we tried to come out at the very end of the lap, and we ended up getting stuck behind Mazepin, who decided to not create a gap and stuck in my dirty air, which was very interesting. But anyways, so as you can see from the delta at the top right there, we had a very shocking turn one, and we lost a lot of time. We're almost 2/10s down on our first time, so we got to improve quite a bit here coming in to the start of Sector 2. We are normally quite strong through these series of corners here, and as you can see in the delta time, we actually pick up quite a lot of time right there, about a 10th and a half. And coming into this long right-hander, I don't know the names of any corners, by the way. That's why, you don't hear me say much. There's only a few that I do know. I'm still getting there. But now we've caught up to our delta time. We're actually putting in pretty strong lap, but I was pushing the car to the limit. And we spun out. I took the curb a little too much there, pushed it a little too hard, and off we went. Just got a bit too aggressive, but our first lap time was good enough for P11. So onto Q2, onto our very first lap on a scrub set of softs. Bit slow out of that final corner from the bus stop chicane, so it was already a pretty poor time. Right up on the curb, bit happy on the throttle, and slammed straight into the wall, losing the left front wing. So Q2 turned into a one-shot for us. No, I mean, it's pretty much easy when you go out on a scrub set of softs, so the lap one, you're not really going to set a competitive time, but you never know, you know what I mean? So anyways, we've pretty much got a singular lap to try and show what we can do, finishing P11 in Q1. If we put in a strong lap, we could sneak into Q3 for the very first time in this career save. However, that was not to be the case. We ended up in P12, which I was quite happy about, to be honest. 42.4, so we did go quicker than our fastest P1 time, which you would expect, but it looks like we're putting the car on the cusp of Q3. So I'm hoping, come next week in Monza with a lot of straight line speed, the temple of speed, as they call it. We're doing pretty well we're doing pretty well on the straights. So he's hoping, that straight line speed will carry over into next week's race at Monza as well, or a couple weekends time based on this calendar. But yeah, anyways, focusing on this race, we're starting in and around Gasly, Alonso, and Stroll. So we could be up for quite a tough fight here. We could be up against another defensive showcasing against Stroll 2 races in a row. But anyways, let's go to the grid with Crofty on Sunday.
We're in Belgium once again for today's round of the Formula One World Championship. It's a race the great Ayrton Senna won 6 times, and in 2019, Charles Leclerc became the first driver to take their maiden win here since Michael Schumacher in 1992. Spa-Francorchamps today, a circuit that spans 4.35 miles. There are tons of elevation changes along the way too. 19 corners making up this circuit, with 9 of those to the right and the remaining 10 to the left. This track is a great one for fans of pure speed. The average lap speed comes close to a whopping 145 miles an hour. With the Grand Prix nearly upon us, Anthony Davidson is by my side once again to offer his perspective. Let's have a chat about McLaren. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Norris, Ricciardo, Sergio Perez and Verstappen, Leclerc, Sainz, Tsunoda and Sebastian Vettel, Gasly, the Professor, Fernando Alonso and Stroll, Ocon, Raikkonen, Antonio Giovinazzi and Mick Schumacher, Schwartzman, Mazepin, Russell and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
So there we have it, the full grid lineup, and Mercedes have a 1-2 front row lockout yet again, with the McLarens right behind. So it should be quite an interesting battle because the Mercs and the McLarens look so far ahead of the field, with Red Bull really struggling in this first season here. Now our teammate qualified a solid P19, so yeah, he's just digging a hole for himself to get replaced, which I even if he pulls out miracle performances come the end of this season or a few more races, I don't know if we will keep him, because I don't think that's just not going to happen. So we're going to go on to the one stop as predicted, softs to mediums. Not much to say really about the strategy. It's pretty straightforward. Let's just be aggressive on the race start, get some track position, don't lose a front wing as per usual, and yeah, let's see what happens. So let's go to the lights out. So engines are hot. We got 4 lights, 5. Crucial to get a good start here. And it's lights out and away we go, and we get an unbelievable launch off the start line there as we nearly collect the back left wheel of Pierre Gasly. We go for a late dive bomb up the inside, and we nearly go up the inside of Carlos Sainz, but back out of it, take a bit too much curb, and we fight Yuki Tsunoda on the corner exit, but we maintain the position, and we get P9, from P12 to P9, but Yuki Tsunoda's all over the back of us, looks up the inside of us there into Eau Rouge, but he decides against it, and we have P9, but coming onto the Kemmel Straight, we know this is a drag fest, a slipstream fest, and look at all the cars lining up behind us there. We're deploying areas to maintain P9. We're parking the car in the middle of the track, and we go late on the brakes, and we got Yuki looking up the inside yet again, but we keep the position as he's just not close enough and can't get his nose in well enough. But the danger here that we have already is the front pack ahead of us, the Ferraris and whatnot, streaking away from us, and we could be left out to dry and be in a DRS battle with Vettel, Tsunoda, Gasly behind us, who are in some very fast cars as we skip to the start of lap 2, and we're clinging for life onto the back of Carlos Sainz as we nearly run up the back side of him there into turn 1, but we get a pretty good corner exit as we take a bit of a wider line there. And we're actually creating a little bit of a gap as well on the cars behind us, coming up into Eau Rouge in the dirty air of Carlos Sainz. We have a lead. No, we don't actually. We're pretty clean up through there. But we actually have an unreal exit out of Raidillon and up the Kemmel Straight. ERS deployed, and the overspeed on Sainz is huge as we go to the outside to get the inside line again. And we go up around the outside, and there's a yellow flag behind us for I have no idea what. But it doesn't matter. It's Carlos Sainz. What happened to Carlos Sainz? He's out of the Grand Prix. What the hell? We've got a virtual safety car because Carlos Sainz has been knocked out of the Grand Prix. So if we go take a look at our onboard here, up Eau Rouge, which is a lovely little move coming out of Raidillon and into the Kemmel Straight as we just had a lot of overspeed there. Yeah, we just stuck to the outside. Because I didn't feel any damage. I didn't get hit or anything. I didn't hit him. Like, I don't know what happened there. Go around the outside and... oh, no way. He's taken a bit too much curb and just spun out straight into the barriers. Look at this. Dipped his front right onto that curb a bit much. That curb is deadly if you get it slightly wrong. You cannot take too much of that curb at all. Yeah. Boy, oh boy, if we then taking a look at Vettel's perspective here, yeah, it just takes too much curb and straight into the barrier. We were close, but we definitely did not touch him. We did not cut him off. So that was Sainz's error there. So on to lap 3. And here's the standings with Hamilton leading Bottas with a bit of a gap to Norris and Perez, who actually, Norris and Perez are actually fighting for position for P3 for the podium spot as they're too wide round the right-hander. And Perez is looking a little shaky here as we go to the onboard, and he's looking a little more than a bit shaky, and we're too wide here. What's going to happen? 2 does not go into this corner, and Perez keeps his nose in, and Norris backs out of it. As, my God, what a little scrap there between those two. And there's a bit of a train that's formed behind Perez. Look at this. You got Perez, Norris, Ricciardo, Sainz, Verstappen behind. Oh, sorry, that's Leclerc, not Sainz. Sainz is out. He's DNF. But yeah, look at this train forming. And it looks like Sergio Perez, he's quite slow. He's holding on to that clinging onto that podium position for dear life. But look at the Mercs. They have a huge lead on Perez come the end of lap 3. A huge lead on the rest of the field, I should say. So it looks like a Mercedes at 1-2 for this race, unless something crazy happens. But they are flying as Perez is backing up the rest of the field, which is helping us massively, actually, because I don't think we would be able to catch a lot of these cars at all, because we're in a terrible car. But as we have a little bit of a moment coming out of the bus stop chicane, as we normally do, we struggle there. We're trying to create a bit of a gap on Vettel as Yuki Tsunoda does the fastest lap there on lap 3. So we're going now to the end of lap 4, and I noticed at this point, you just noticed down the bottom right, I changed the repair wing damage. Oh, never mind, I changed that to no, but we go around the outside of Verstappen. I got distracted. I didn't see that as we look now to the inside of Charles Leclerc to the final chicane, and we get up the inside late on the brake, and he keeps his nose in up on the inside. Can we get the traction around the outside? And we can. We get the move done. Oh, my Lord. Double move on Verstappen and Leclerc. Who would have thought that in Season 1? That is unbelievable. I don't know what's happened. Look at this. What a move. Stick around the outside, keeping it flat, and the car just glued to the track there. Then late on the braking up the inside of the Leclerc. He kept his nose. He's on the nose in on the inside, but we held the spot. And if we take a look at this, yeah, as you see, look at the front wing damage there. I wasn't really noticing too much of an effect, so that's why I put it to no change, because I didn't want to lose time on the pit stop for changing the front wing that was only minorly damaged. And some of this could be visual as well, as we have seen, I have seen before, front wing damage that wasn't actually wing damage, and because it didn't actually feel like it was affecting me. And up ahead again, look at this, we got that's Perez and Norris fighting again. They're too wide coming out of the Kimmel Straight, and Perez is very slow as Norris's AI looks very frustrated as he's trying to get past him here in the exact same spot in the starter sector 2 here, as Ricciardo looks to be joining the fold as well, and that's giving me a chance to join the fold as well, possibly, as they stick too wide the whole way round here. This is unbelievable, and I think they had a bit of contact there with Perez having a bit of a snap to the left hand there, and holds it, and he sticks his nose up the inside. Perez keeps it in there, and Norris backs out once again. So these two are having an unbelievable scrap, and we have Charles Leclerc all over the back of us as well now, who takes a little look, but he's not going to have a chance to get past us here. I don't think it's a bit difficult through these series of corners as he just sticks behind, and we stick behind Ricciardo, just trying to stick close to him, hopefully get a good run for the next lap into the Kemmel Straight. And if Perez can, mate, this guy is unreal. He is just not letting anybody pass, as Leclerc has a little look up the inside, but we close that off pretty quickly.
Okay, there appears to be an issue. We're currently investigating.
Wow. Wow, Jeff, what are you doing to me, man? Reliability has been an absolute nightmare this season for us. I don't even know what to say. It's just speechless now. We've had too many DNS. You can't do this to me. Come on, man. Honestly.
It's not good news, I'm afraid. Seems like an engine issue.
Jeff, mate, you're the bearer of bad news. So anyways, I frantically am looking through my MFD to see if there's any damage and whatnot. And as we do that, we give an opening to Charles Leclerc as we go up to can't even talk now. We go too wide up Radion, through a Rouge into Radion and into the Kemmel Straight, as we're side by side all along down the straight, and you can see Norris and Perez fighting again as we almost do a Carlos Sainz and have a big moment up on the curb, but we managed to hold it, and we nearly collide with Leclerc there, and somehow we've maintained the position of P6. I can't believe we've gone from engine problems, frantically checking the MFD for any engine problems, to then battling Leclerc because I wasn't paying attention, got caught napping, and he's just come up the inside. Look at this, he's come up the inside. We've not tried to defend at all, and we actually squeezed. Look at this, we squeezed him as close as we could into the wall. He missed that wall by about a millimeter, honestly, and we push him a bit wide up through the hill, and we're too wide the whole way. This is actually, honestly, this was about one of the most fun battles I've had in a while. Had in a few races on this game. I mean, actually, that's a lie, but look how close we were to just losing it into Leclerc there. That nearly ended both our races there. But yeah, that was a lie, because I kind of forgot about my battle with Lance Stroll last Grand Prix at Silverstone. But look how close our rear wheel was there, and then our front wheel our nose nearly would just collided straight into him and just pitched straight into the front of that Ferrari, and that would have been a big crash there coming around the corner. So we did well to hold on to it, but the tyre wear was really kicking in, and we now have Verstappen behind us, and Vettel has also overtaken Leclerc as well by the looks of it. So Leclerc's lost a few positions after that. I don't really know what happened there. I think we'll check the replay in a second, as Vettel also overtakes Verstappen. So now we have Vettel to worry about, and that Aston is mighty quick as well. So yeah, here we are, and Leclerc just loses it. He just loses around that corner and gives Verstappen and Vettel the free positions, basically. And now Vettel coming flying on the back of Verstappen, who was looking at attacking me, and just gets caught napping and isn't aware of Vettel coming up on the inside, and then Vettel sticks it around the outside with the onto the racing line as the better traction and gets up the inside here as Verstappen, he keeps his nose in the whole way around, but that Red Bull just isn't looking too hot right now. That Red Bull is struggling a little bit, and I have to wonder why. Are they not upgrading the car? Are they waiting for the 2022 regulations? Like, what are they doing? As we switch on board with Vettel, not Leclerc, sorry, as he just comes flying past us. We're a sitting duck there. We got no answer, and then we run wide out of Radion, and yeah, we switch to a mid sector 2 on board with Yuki Tsunoda now, who's behind Max Verstappen. So Leclerc's lost more places, and as he drops down the order, and Yuki Tsunoda, that Red Bull's looking really slow as the sister team just glides past him. Tsunoda glides past him like he's not even there, like he's in a Haas or something. It's unbelievable. Now Yuki Tsunoda is looking to attack us immediately, and he looks up the inside as we shut that down very quickly, and he has to ease off not to run into the back of us as we make our car as wide as possible on this track, and we keep in front of him here. So it's been quite an interesting race here with a few overtakes and some positions. And as Pierre Gasly now has overtaken Verstappen, and he's also gotten ahead of Tsunoda. Oh, they're both fighting. Oh, what's going on there? The two AlphaTauris now fighting. So onto lap 8, we've got the AlphaTauris doing much better than the Red Bull of Max Verstappen, which is unheard of. So Verstappen really struggling here, and I don't really know where we're going to end up, because this race is just looking... Oh, come on, man. We were doing so well. You know, this race was looking very promising with this, you know, onto the mediums. We were looking like it was going to be quiet, and look at the battle there as we passed with the Alpines, but... what can I say? Another engine failure. I think we're gonna have to change engine suppliers. And oh my god, poor Pierre Gasly cops an absolute battering with the smoke coming out of the back of our engine. Oh my lord, look at, let's take it on board. Look with Pierre Gasly here, he just cops it, and pretty much the whole way up, because we shut him down. And he just, oh my lord, sorry Pierre, that is my bad. I should have moved out of the way a lot quicker than that, but that's another DNF for us. We've finished 3 races out of 8. We've had 5 DNFs. I can't handle this, man. This is ridiculous. I don't know what to do. We're just gonna have to improve our durability, you know, in the R&D. I think we're gonna have to focus on that heavily in the back half of this season. And maybe even change engine suppliers next season. Get someone, you know, with a bit more reliability, because we've had, out of the 5 DNFs, we had 1 DNF. The first DNF was in Spain, which was my doing. And then the other DNF that was not the car was in Canada, when Lance Stroll put us into the freaking back. You know what? Come to think of it, like, we've had a lot of battling with Stroll. He put us into the barrier at Canada. We were defending against him for dear life in Britain. Pretty sure we were up against him before Britain as well for something, maybe in Austria. I can't really remember, to be honest, but... yeah, disappointing end to this race after looking so strong all weekend, feeling unreal in the car. As you can see, Hamilton wins. We bought our second, which we kind of saw coming. And then the 2 McLarens behind, who are honestly looking like the only competitors, they managed to pass Sergio Perez, but Perez held on for P5 somehow. You know, Vettel lost out. Stroll was... actually, he was always down the order, but Vettel really lost out big, so I wonder what's happened there. Schwartzman's ended up in P16, so he's had not a bad race at all, but myself and Sainz have DNF'd. Sainz making a mistake, putting himself into the barrier, and us with reliability issues yet again, which is extremely disappointing. Nothing much to say, but other than, you know, hopefully we can even get a bit of improvement come Monza next time round. So Hamilton leads Bottas in the drivers' standings by 20 points, who is then also 21 points ahead of Lando Norris. So it looks like Lando Norris of the McLaren is the only one that's going to get close to fighting these the Mercs at the top. But Mercedes running away with the Constructors' Championship here today. They look untouchable. They look ridiculously quick. So Yeah, I can say as well that it was I went after this race. I had a look at what part failed, and it was the control electronics that failed on us, which was a brand new part I put into the car. It had 0% wear before this race. Like I put it on just before qualifying. So disappointing. What can I say? And especially since control electronics was the part that failed on us the first time round. Failed on us in Austria actually. So we've had 2 failures of the same part in quick concession. So I think that's where we're gonna have to focus our durability upgrades for the time being. Is just get the control electronics a bit more reliable. Just get it all more reliable. I'm sick of DNFing. Especially starting out, we're looking pretty good. We look strong on the weekends. Come race day, we've got some good race pace. As we're slowly upgrading this car, and bang, reliability issues puts us out midway through the race. Not much more to say. Super disappointing, but what can you do? Such is life, such is the sport. We're a new team, always going to be teething issues. So hopefully the team learns a lot from this season, and the back half of this season, hopefully we can, reduce reliability issues, not take too many grid penalties, because we're going to have to take a few grid penalties now based off these failures. And yeah, hopefully we can turn a new chapter, turn a new leaf, come into season 2 after the next 7 races. And but anyways, we're thinking too far ahead of ourselves. We got to just think about Monza, and hopefully at the Temple of Speed, we can show our speed, show a bit of reliability, get our straight line speed up to scratch with the DRS and drag reduction upgrades coming in, and hopefully pick up some points yet again. But anyways, until then, have a good one, guys. Peace, and I'll catch you in Monza for next week's Grand Prix.